Hello friends, recently the Rajasthan government has passed the Rajasthan platform based gig workers bill. So we'll be analyzing this bill today. If you want to download this slide, the link will be found in the description box. If you want to listen to this video in Hindi language, you can go to our another channel, that is prepezee. The link also is available in the description box. So basically, Rajasthan has recently passed the Rajasthan government Rajasthan platform based gig workers registration and welfare bill 2023. This is the first such kind of bill that is providing protection to the gig workers. This is the first such bill, and Rajasthan state is having 3 lakh gig workers. So basically it will be providing welfare services, welfare schemes to these people. Now first let us understand what actually is a gig economy. See, we have employees who are permanent employees. Generally, nowadays that conventional jobs, they are permanent jobs. That is, we apply to a company, they select us and then they keep us, and then we have to resign officially. We have to give a notice period and then we come out of that company and join another company. However, in the gig economy, we have temporary and part-time employment. What this means is that if I want to work in a company which is a part of gig economy, then I don't need any official application. If there is a project which is starting and I am interested, I can simply see to that I want this project. If the company thinks that I am okay to work on this project and I can finish it, they will give this job to me, and my contract with the company is regarding this project only. They give me the project, I return them the project and they pay me. Nothing else is there in the gig economy. For example, the example is, let's say we talk about Ola and Uber. They are basically cab aggregators. So in this, they have a platform. On that platform, a buyer or let's say a rider comes. That is a person who wants to, a commuter comes, who wants to travel from one place to another. They come, they set their source and their destination. Now, the source and destination are set and this alert is now sent to the cab drivers. Any cab driver who is now registered can then accept this drive and then they will go for this ride. So basically here I am looking for one particular job, that is my job as a driver. So here there is no requirement of a permanent employment. Today I feel like it, I will come, I will join it. Tomorrow I don't feel like it, or let's say I am engaged in some other employment. Let's say for example I have found a person who is willing to pay me for the whole day. So then I will go for that job. So this is what happens. This is a temporary, that is one day job for me, and it is part-time. There is no such commitment. There is no such long-term commitments. Similarly, we see that Zomato, Swiggy are there. So they have these delivery boys. The delivery boys, they take the order from one place and then they deliver to the person who will eat or consume that food. Similarly, there are Flipkart and Amazon. They also take orders for particular goods and then they deliver that good to the particular person. So all these services which are there, for example, urban company is there, these doorstep delivery services are there, cab drivers are there, they are part of gig economy. In that, there is no full-time engagement, there is no full-time permanent employees, only whatever the project is required, that project is fulfilled by that particular person. Now, if we talk about what are the benefit of these workers, see, first of all, they are flexible. That is, today I want to work, tomorrow I don't want to work, that is up to me. If I want to work today, I will register on that platform, I will tell them that I am available for today, they will give me a ride. If I don't want to, then I will not. Similarly, there is freedom. Freedom means that if I want to join with a company, then I can join that company. That is for a project. If tomorrow I want to join or let's say work for a project for some other company, that is also okay. In fact, I am allowed to work for 2 companies simultaneously also. If I do have time, there is no objection from one company for me working on the project of another company. As long as I finish my projects on time, there is no such objection. So therefore I have freedom also. Then there is variety of jobs. See, today let's say I am interested in writing. So I will go on this websites like Freelancer or Fiverr. These websites, what they do is they will connect me for professional services. Here I can provide professional services to the buyer, or let's say I am a company, so I can post my project and I can hire these professional service providers also. So let's say I want to write a book on, let's say, Indian economy. So I will go there and then I will hire a person who is writing expert. These people are called ghost writers. So what I will do is I'll tell them the idea that I want the book on Indian economy. They will write it and they will provide it to me. If I like it, and then I can go for publishing it under my name, because this is a ghost writer. He does not have any right or any kind of copyright to this publication, because I have already paid for such right to him. So this is basically, therefore there is a lot of variety also, that today I want, I can do writing also. Tomorrow I want, I can do development also. There is no such compulsion that I have to do writing only. Next day I want to, let's say I have a cab, so I can, I have a car, so I can go for cab driving also. So anything which I want, I can do it. I want to be a graphic designer, you can do it. Whatever you want, you can do it. Similarly, another benefit is that it is global in nature. That is, I am sitting here, I can find a job in US also. For example, a company in US wants to develop an application which is running on Android. And I have the required skill and I can develop this application. So if this company is posting this project on these websites like Freelancer and Fiverr, I can apply for this project. And if the company thinks that yes, I can deliver it, then again they will give this project to me. And in return, I will receive my payment. So there is no distance limitation or geographical limitations. I can work for a company sitting in, let's say, Brazil or UK. And even if I am a company, I can hire personnel who are sitting in South America or Africa or whichever continent I like. Similarly, here another very important thing is following your passion. So let's say, as a person, I have a passion for writing. But I am engaged in a company, or let's say I am engaged in a government job, but still I love writing so much. So I can get commercial success from that passion of mine if I start writing in professional manner. So I can go and register on these websites and they will connect me to a person who is interested in giving a project where someone has to write something. So that my passion, if it is writing, I can do it. Let's say my passion is again software development. So here also I can go and say to it that yes, I want to develop software, and then if a project I am deemed eligible for it, the project will be provided to me. I can develop the software as and when I want. Then again, there are the provision of multiple jobs. So let's say I want to earn a lot of money. So what I can do is I can apply for 2-3 companies, and if I can get out enough time for all these companies, then again that is available to me. I just need to manage my time well so that I can complete all these projects in time. These multiple jobs will be available to me. Then again, I can work from home. See, in these type of jobs, there is no requirement for you to travel for any physical meetings or anything like that to any distant place. You can keep sitting in your home. You can have meetings on Zoom or Google Meet or whatever app you assume both of you are comfortable with. So you can sit on your home, develop the project, deliver it, and whenever you want, you can go away for a vacation. So this is the another benefit. Then the most important benefit which I feel here is the low barrier to entry. See, the problem in Indian market, or let's say in the global market also, is that people are willing to give you a job only if you have experience in that field. However, you can get the experience only when you are working in a job. So basically, this is a chicken and an egg solution, that egg problem. That is, who came first, whether egg came first or chicken came first. So if you don't have a job, how will you get experience? And if you don't get experience, then no one will offer you a job. So that is the problem in the today's market. But here there is low barrier to entry. No one is going to ask you what is your experience. If you are developing the projects consistently, then again that is available and you can develop this project. Again, similarly, see, today nowadays if I want to work in software development, I go to a company, they will ask me what are my qualifications. So I have to tell them that I am BTech in computer science or IT or whatever. They will offer me a job. But let's say I am not BTech, I am MBBS, and yet I want to work in software development. So here no one is going to ask you. The companies won't give you this job. But then in this gig economy, no one is asking you, you are MBBS, you are BA, or you have not even done any kind of education. If you can develop this, you are the person whom they want. So basically, these are the benefits. This is not just beneficial for the workers, it is beneficial for the business also. How? See, in business, let's say I want to hire a worker. Now, if I want to, I will go to a consultancy, or say I will go for a, let's say, a newspaper advertisement, and then people will apply to me, or consultancy will again give this advertisement, and then they will provide me with a person. Then I will take this interview, and if I find him eligible, I will probably keep him for let's say some kind of probation, and then let's say it works out or it won't work out. But here there is no such long-term solutions. There is only availability. You go on this website, you post your project. If it is, the job is, if the person is available, you will definitely get this person. They will quote a price, and if you agree to that price, you can get that project made. So availability is much large, and in fact, when you see practically also, you see that the people who are working, that is the job seekers, they are more than the projects which are posted. Similarly, there is no commitment. That is, let's say you gave a project to a particular person. This person works on that project, but when the final output came, you did not really like this. So now there is no compulsion for you to give another project to this person. You can say, no, I don't like your project, you can go away. This is not possible for regular jobs. Once you have hired a person, your appointment process is over, offer letter has been given, the person has joined, you will need to actually see to it. It is not very easy to fire a person. First, you will have to establish it that the person is incompetent. You will also have to see to it that your company, your HR, everyone thinks to it, your boss, they are comfortable with your decision to fire that person. And again, there is always a possibility that that person may file an objection, probably in front of senior management of your company, or even he can take it to the court that no, I don't feel that this is a fair firing. You have done it because of some issues. Let's say a person let's say I am a woman. So you have fired me because of my conditions, or let's say my any particular that daily circumstances that is not allowing me to, let's say, stay back in the night. So you are firing me just because of something, not because of my incompetency, but then you think that you're biased, that I won't be able to do that job. So here in gig economy, there is no such commitment. You can hire anyone, you can fire anyone. Then there is no social security also. Here, see, in gig economy, you don't have to provide any kind of social security. There is no pensions, there are no insurance, there is nothing which you have to pay after a person, his job is finished. So here, as and when your job is finished, that project is completed, the person is now no more in touch with you until you decide to hire him for another job. So there is no social security provision, there is no long-term commitments. Then again, there are regulations. See, in India, Factories Act is there are Code of Social Security. So there are multiple regulations or rules which the government has made, which you have to follow if you want to keep permanent employees. But in gig economy, there is no need for such regulations, and there are no such big regulations in place. You just hire a worker and the project is completed. There is no another need for you to get in touch with that person in any kind of regulation. So these are also the benefits for the business also. But then there are also issues. For example, uncertainty is there. See, the best example here is COVID period. In COVID, no one knew COVID would come and no one could have predicted it. So when COVID came, all these contact-based jobs, they were lost at that time for that temporary time period. For example, people who were driving cabs, suddenly they were out of jobs. They didn't have anything to do. Similarly, people who were working in urban company, let's say hairdressers, they were out of job. Contact was not allowed at that time. Otherwise, it would have led to spread of disease more fast. So then again, these things, there is, see, this is not a very frequent event, but then whenever it happens, it is rare, but then whenever it happens, it will lead to a loss of jobs, and so these kind of jobs are uncertain in nature. The gig economy is uncertain. Similarly, there is lack of job security. That is, today you are getting jobs, but tomorrow there is no such compulsion that you will get a job. Today your skill is in demand. Let's say I am a developer in PHP. So my skill is in demand. But tomorrow everyone wants to get their software developed in Python language. So what can I do about it? I don't know Python. So if I have to learn it, if I can't learn it, then my job is gone. So there is no job security. Then again, there is the problem of artificial intelligence. See, nowadays ChatGPT is there, then Google is launching its own Bard, that artificial intelligence. So basically what is happening is the jobs which were earlier considered very professional, very, very important, they are now, they can be now being performed by these artificial intelligence engines also. For example, they can give you, if you want to, let's say, write an article on a particular topic, you just have to give this topic to this chat GPT. It will come out with a particular article on it. So the person who is writing, he suddenly is out of job. Then again, if you want to, let's say, software development, so you want to get a software developed, but then again, this can also be done by chat GPT. So again, a person who is software development, he's out of job. So artificial intelligence is posing problems for the people. Then again, see, one thing which is beneficial for business is also a problem for these gig economy workers. For example, social security. There is no pension, there is no insurance, there is no sick leaves, there is no earned leaves in this kind of economy. Here, if you work, you get paid. If you don't work, then you don't get paid. So there is absolute lack of social security in this economy. Then again, tax and regulation stress. See, if I am a permanent employee of a company, all these taxes, these regulations, they are headache of the company. For example, there is this provision called as TDS, that is tax deduction at source. If a company is paying me, they are deducting my income tax from my salary. They are hiring a chartered accountant who is paying this to the government. So, and if I don't have any claim, I don't need to pay any amount to the government. Let's say it is already paid by my company. If I feel that it is being overpaid, then I can claim my income tax refund. Otherwise, there is no such provision. The government will never say anything to me because company is deducting my tax for me. But here in the gig economy, company is free from all these kind of regulations. So you have to take care of this. You have to hire a chartered accountant. He'll look at your income and then he'll decide what is the amount you have to pay. And that is how you have to pay for all these taxes and then other regulations you have to follow. Then there is always this fear of burnout. What actually is burnout? See, any person who is, let's say, developing softwares. So he's sitting all day, 16 hours, he's sitting and developing. Initially it feels good. Yes, I am getting a command on this. But after some time, what happens is that you get bored of doing one thing repetitively again and again, day after day. So what you do is you want to develop something else. Let's say I have developed software so much, now I want to start writing. I am a good writer also. So here, but the problem is that here in this economy, what is happening is that you develop a certain reputation and you are getting jobs. If you want to go for writing, it will not be easily available to you because there is so much competition. Many people, they are already working on it and they will fight you tooth and nail for that job. So you have developed your reputation, but then again, if there is a burnout, you keep doing that thing, and here everything is based upon your performance. You give 100 good projects, but one bad project and certainly someone will give you a bad rating and people will judge you on the basis of that bad rating. So there is always this fear of burnout that one day you will feel that, oh, I'm done with this job, I don't want to do it anymore, and then you have to start from scratch in some other field. So that is the problem of burnout. Now when we have understood this gig economy, now let us understand that what do we mean by this Rajasthan bill? What are the major provisions in that? So the bill is basically named Rajasthan Platform-Based Gig Workers Registration and Welfare Bill 2023. Why this bill was required? See, basically what was happening was that till now the labor laws which were in place, these people, the gig workers, they were not being called employees. Why? Because they were not hired for a fixed term by any company. They were instead called as partners. These persons, they were not being hired for fixed term and they are not exclusive to a particular company. They are not an employee of just one company. So here they are called as partners. But the problem with this term is that they are not getting any profit. If they are sitting at home, they are not getting any profit while the company is working. So partners, they are entitled to the profit. Therefore, there was a requirement to clarify this terminology. There was a requirement to see to it that the gig workers, they are defined, and it is seen to it that these nomenclatures which are actually not applicable to these workers, they must be clarified. So that is why this bill was needed. Secondly, in the Social Security Code, which was passed in 2020, there are many restrictive criteria. For example, you can be considered a gig economy worker only if you have worked for a certain time period, or you are registered with a particular company, or let's say you are registered, or let's say if you are going for let's say 2 or 3 companies, then only you are coming in this bill. But now this bill, it is not having any restrictive criteria. once at any moment when you register on this app as a cab driver, the moment you register, you are under the provisions of this bill, under the purview of this bill. So that is why this bill was needed. Now let us look at the provisions or the proposals which are mentioned in the bill. Firstly, this bill applies to the aggregators. As I have told you, see, these are Ola and Uber are there. These are aggregators. They aggregate cab drivers. Then there are Zomato and Swiggy. These are also aggregators. They aggregate delivery personnel who then again go on to deliver, or they connect the buyer and the seller. Then there are also the primary employers. For example, see, let's say I am a company. I want to hire writers. I am basically a publishing company, so I hire writers who are ghostwriters and then I publish this. So here I am a primary employer. I am hiring 10 writers and I am giving them, each of them, a book to read. Here I am a primary employer. So this is what the bill is applicable to. Now this bill, it is constituting a welfare board. Who will be there in the welfare board? First of all, the state officials would be there in the welfare board. Secondly, 5 representatives will be there, each 5 from workers and then 5 from the aggregators. Like aggregators like Ola, Uber, Zomato, Swiggy, Urban Company, Flipkart, Amazon. So 5 from workers and 5 from aggregators. Then there will be 2 persons who are there from the civil society, that is NGOs, media, or whatever civil society is comprising. So this is the constitution. Now what will be the duties of the board? So basically the duties of this welfare board is, first of all, it will set a welfare fund. The welfare fund, it will be getting some fund which will be used for welfare of the people. Now from where this fund will come? See, the fund which will be called as Social Security and Welfare Fund, there will be 4 major sources of money which will aggregate, which will come into this fund, and they will be used for the social security schemes. First is the contributions which are made by the individual workers. So individual workers, they can make any kind of contribution to this fund. Secondly, the state government, it can augment this fund whenever it feels the need. Then there are other sources which will be defined later. But the most important point here is that it will be having a welfare cess. What is this welfare cess? See, anything, any transaction which is happening in this gig economy, the amount which is chargeable on this transaction, 1% to 2%, that is any amount between 1% to 2% which is fixed by the government will be paid to this welfare fund. So basically this amount will be paid by the aggregator. So this amount, as of now, we know that it will not be exceeding 2% and it will not fall below 1%. And the aggregator, they need to submit this amount within the first 5 days of the month. That is, they have to submit this amount from 1st to the 5th date of that month. So this is what is the welfare fund. Now, then there are other duties also. Firstly, this is funding. Then secondly, there is also the duty of registering these people. For example, they have to register the workers also. They have to register the aggregators also. They also have to register the primary companies which are engaged in this. So basically, this is again a function of this board. Then they will have to facilitate the social security provisions, that whatever social security will be applicable to these workers and whatever are the social security schemes which will be applicable to the workers, they will be formulating this, or any other matter which is applicable. So you see there are 3 major functions. First is the fund, then there is registration, and there is formulating the social security which is applicable to them. Then for this purpose, this will the board, it will be maintaining a database. This database will be having the details of the workers which are engaged by these gig working economies, that is the aggregators. Now these workers, every one of them will be provided a unique ID for the purpose of identification. These identities or unique IDs, they will be valid forever, that is in perpetuity. So now, apart from that, see here, now we come to the duties of aggregators. What are the duties of aggregators? We have already talked about welfare cess. So first of all, they have to deposit this welfare cess on time. Secondly, they have to keep updating this database on which we have the workers have been registered. So if let's say there is any variation in the number of gig workers who are working in these companies, they have to update that within 1 month of that variation. If they are not doing these things, then there is a penalty also. See, penalty, basically aggregators, they will be subjected to a penalty of 5 lakh for the first offense, and if they subsequently do it again, then they have to pay 50 lakh for each of that further offense. Primary employers, which I have talked about, they have to pay 10,000 in the first offense, and if they subsequently repeat it, then they have to pay 2 lakh in subsequent offenses. This bill is also having the provision for worker grievances. See, any worker who is not satisfied with the company and says to it that I am not being given social security or whatever entitlement which I am having according to the provisions of this bill, they can file a petition in both ways. Either they can go for physical filing in front of an officer, or they can also file it online on a portal which will be made for this purpose only. Let's say they have filed a petition. Now employer says I have done no such thing. So they will also be eligible to file their counter, that is their objection to this order, within 90 days in front of an appellate authority, that whatever objection they have to this order which is passed on that complaint, they can file an appeal. So basically, see, this was very much required because right now, as of now, there is no such provision of any grievance for these people. They are now actually have emerged as a vulnerable section. For example, we see of a story of Urban company. See, Urban company, this is a major company. It is providing many kind of services, and the services are good also. The only problem is that some time ago, it increased its commissions abruptly to a very high percentage. So the people, the workers, who are working, who are registered on this platform, they started protesting against it. So what this company did, it took an action in which it blocked the accounts of these people, and it stopped provision of work to these people. And these people have nowhere to go. So again, they are exploited lot, and therefore there is a requirement for workers' grievances, so that if they have a problem, they can come to it. They can come to this company or let's say to this authorities for that. So now let us have a look at the challenges which are there. See, firstly, the unions which are fighting the case for workers, they have said that fund which has been set up, basically this fund should be getting money from the aggregators, or they should be getting it from the state itself. There should be no provision of transaction or welfare cess, because already these people are being underpaid. See, initially whenever this thing happens, any kind of gig economy or jobs are generated, they are overpaid. That is, money is paid for that, so that there is some kind of addiction, word of mouth is spread that this company is paying so much. Later on, when enough people are there, the company starts underpaying them. The commissions, they increase commissions for the company, and the payments which are released to these people, they keeps on decreasing. So therefore, unions have said that we should be working to decrease this amount, and transaction should be either paid by the aggregator and state only. It should not be paid by the workers themselves. Secondly, there is a term called as other benefits in this. So the unions, they have said that you have to expand and you have to give the detailed provisions of what constitutes other provisions, other benefits. Otherwise, the companies will start exploiting this provision and they will not be providing anything, or whatever they are providing, they will include it in other benefits only. And thirdly, they said that whenever a contract is being signed between a worker or an employer, then that contract should be standard. That is, the authorities should develop this contract and give it to the workers, so that because they don't know what should be there in the contract, they don't know how to safeguard themselves from any future problems which might be having. So it would be a good idea that this is being developed by the government or the authorities, and then it is given to the workers. So if you like this video, please like, share and subscribe, and thank you for seeing the video.